Look, I don't think I'm speaking out of school here when I say sometimes you just want to touch the thing. And for the longest time, it was legal to touch the thing, and now it's illegal to touch the thing. And a popular cruise activity, which involved touching, has been banned. Norwegian Cruise Line Holding, they're doing something crazy. They're getting rid of one of their cruise ships, and there's a hot debate going on about who do you call when you're in the shower on a cruise ship and you have an emergency. Yeah, this one's wild. The cruise news and my views. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views. Well, it's for your face. For your face on a Sunday the 30th of March, 2025. I was just thinking, did anybody have a bad time on the 15th of March? I told everybody to beware of the Ides of March, but I didn't get any feedback. Did you have an okay 15th of March? I was wary of the Ides of March, but I think it worked out okay. Look, we got some cruise news to process through, but let's talk about a couple cruise news stories from yesterday, from a time gone by, from yesteryear. No, just less than 24 hours ago, we talked about how the Majestic Princess had canceled its sailings 2026 in Galveston, Texas. And I said at the time, there's still another cruise ship over there, Regal Princess. And rightfully, a lot of folks pointed out and said, well, there's going to be a time where Regal's service in Galveston goes away also, essentially leaving Galveston with no Princess cruises scheduled currently. And what does that mean? Does that mean that Princess has given up on Galveston? I can't see how that would be true. Galveston is a hotbed of cruising activity. Now, certainly the port area there has some infrastructure challenges, and maybe a cruise line that's trying to populate itself down there in Galveston could see those challenges and maybe pull back. But I almost think, if you look at what's been going on, a lot of the new hot ships have been going to Galveston, and maybe Princess in its fleet redeployment will send a sexier ship over to Galveston than, say, Majestic or Regal. If there is such a thing, I don't know. They do have the Sun Princess and the Star Princess. So I don't know. I don't know that Princess is giving up on Galveston. I'm more thinking that there'll be a different ship deployed over there. But as of yesterday, with that announcement, there are no ships scheduled after Regal finishes in Galveston. There's no ships scheduled for Princess there. So good point out, good call out, everybody, and that's the correction there. Then I want to talk about the lady that had her hand in the backside of her pants yesterday. A lot of interesting commentary on that. I saw that in a Facebook group, and somebody pointed out that there was an anonymous response to that post in the Facebook group claiming to be the pants lady. And she's saying that there was a drink spilled down the back of her pants, and she was just trying to keep her wet pants off her backside. Which, I mean, her hand was in there for a long time. I guess she could have been doing that. But either way, I don't know why you wouldn't. There's got to be more to that story. There's got to be more to that story. Okay, those are the updates to yesterday's cruise news. Let's get into cruise news story number one. Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings is announcing that they are jettisoning. I wanted to use the word jettisoning. They're getting rid of a cruise ship, but I wanted to use the word. Here's George Jetson. They're getting rid of one of their cruise ships. Don't you hate it when your vocabulary fails you? They're getting rid of the oldest cruise ship in the fleet, and now I've talked myself out of remembering what it was. Let me refer to the reference material. The report is out that the Seven Seas Navigator will make its final trip in 2026, and it will be retired from the fleet. This is the first time that Norwegian Cruise Line has retired a ship from their fleet since all the way back in 2010. Seven Seas Navigator was launched back in 1991, so that cruise ship is coming up to be 34 years old or something like that. Norwegian Cruise Line has been on record saying they like to keep their cruise ships between 30 and 35 years. Cruise ships they have a long lifespan. And along those lines, the Seven Seas Navigator isn't like leaving the fleet to go to the shipyard to be completely decommissioned. They've actually sold it off to Crescent Seas, which is another one of those residency at seas companies. It's another startup company, 490 cabins on the Navigator. And so this could be someone's future home at sea, which again, I've said this before when it comes to these residency at seas, Anybody that wants to do that, bless you. I hope it's the best thing ever. But I just don't know why I'd want to take up residency on a cruise ship that's been in service for 35 years that major cruise lines are getting rid of. Certainly, they're still seaworthy and they're useful and they're all that, but put me on a new cruise. It's probably cost prohibitive to live on a brand new cruise ship, but there you go. Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, the fleet's getting one smaller, but it's going to be getting younger because they're getting rid of their oldest cruise ship in the fleet. Cruise news story number 2, let's talk about that popular cruise activity that has now been banned, a popular cruise activity around touching stuff, and particularly in Roatan in Honduras. Look at this lovely picture here. It is my beautiful wife, the lovely Jenny B, hugging a sloth. They're at the Daniel Johnson Monkey and Sloth Hangout. This was a few years ago, and it was a lot of fun. This event brought my wife, Jenny B, to tears in 2 ways. One, by hugging the sloth, and number 2, because an animal jumped on her. We made a full video of that. I'll leave that linked at the end. But yeah, so they've decided there in Roatan that they don't think it's good for people to handle the animals anymore. And certainly Daniel Johnson is one of the most well-regarded spots in Roatan for having these encounters. They did release a statement saying we are now a no-contact sanctuary. Daniel Johnson's Monkey and Sloth Hangout will officially transition to a no-contact wildlife sanctuary. That means guests will no longer be able to hold or touch the sloths. Do you think the government in Honduras did this because the welfare of the animals, or were they worried about honesty? 'Cause sometimes when we touch, the honesty's too much. Shout out Ludacris. I don't know. Look, if it's better for the animals, that's awesome. I always assume that if you go to these places and they're letting you handle the animals, they've determined whether it's good or bad for the animals. But again, maybe people are just trying to make a buck. I never felt that at Daniel Johnson. I always felt them being very respectful of the animals. And so hopefully the no touching of the sloths, hopefully it doesn't wreck their business. Honestly, that's where my curiosity lies. Now that people can't go and hug a sloth, will this change the whole dynamic of those places in Roatan? I don't know. Cruise news story number 3 actually really doesn't matter. I just wanted to use it because it's happening on May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. How about that? Always. May the 4th, 2025, Star Wars Day. Anybody that has the cool coincidence of being on the Celebrity Beyond on that day, you got to get on the cruise ship later. This is not the embarkation time you were looking for. Yeah, so that ship is disembarking a lot of people in Fort Lauderdale, but the sailing on the 4th happens out of Miami. So you're going to have a disembarkation that morning in Port Everglades. Then ship's going to have to motor on down to Miami, and then people can get on board. So 3 p.m. embarkation time. Everybody has to be on board by 6. And don't forget to do your muster drill. And may the 4th be with you always. I know this only applies to a small amount of people. I guess it is good food for thought, because I did just go through an experience where my embarkation got shifted till later in the evening, which made for a really long embarkation day, and it kind of threw off the nightly schedule. Have you ever gone through this where you had to embark later? What do you think about that? Leave a comment below. All right, this is normally the part of the show where I would kick over and do a dance break, but I have been requested by some people to not do a dance break. And so for those people, I prepared a 3-word statement for you. It goes like this. How about no? How about no to your request that I don't do the dance break? Get up, everybody. Dance break. Let's do it.
I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody's watching. Don't really care if my rhythm's off, 'cause I'm gonna dance like nobody's watching me. I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody's watching. Don't really care if my rhythm's off, 'cause I'm gonna dance like nobody's watching me. I'm gonna dance, 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 dance,
That tune was called Dance Like Nobody's Watching, but we were all watching. I was watching you, you were watching me. Can't believe people out there are trying to say no dance break. What's wrong? You don't like fun? You don't like fun? All right, look, here's the story of the day for sure. Story of the day. There is a complainer. Guess where? Of course, Carnival Cruise Line. Carnival just puts all their business out there. You know, like that one friend that tells you way too much. Like, why are you telling me this about your life? But yeah, so Carnival's like that too. Here's the latest. There's a customer that's upset because they were in the shower in their cruise ship and they got shampoo in their eye and they got out with an irritated eye. I guess they didn't rinse the shampoo out of their eye. They got on the telephone, they called the 911 and said, hey, I need some help because I got shampoo in my eye. This has to be a made-up story. And well, either the medical team did not run to their cabin or they did run to their cabin, but not in a timely fashion. And so they're upset. And they're asking the question of Carnival, what should be the expected response time for shampoo in the eye? And I think that really begs the bigger question, should you be calling 911 if you have shampoo in your eye? How does this work? I remember when I was a kid, my mom always got the Johnson's baby shampoo, the No More Tears, and then that way I didn't have to call anybody because I could just pour shampoo in my eyes and I would be fine. And then I think as I evolved through life, I realized that if I got shampoo in my eye, I could just use water and get it out of my eye. Did somebody have to teach me that? Because I can't understand the person that would call 911 in the event of a shampoo in the eye incident. Maybe they're like, I don't want to be too dismissive. Like there could have been something serious, but it doesn't sound serious. EMTs, doctors, ER workers out there and general public, what do you think? Do you think in the event that your Pantene gets in your retinas that you should rush to help these people? Or do you think that, well, maybe Darwin had a theory? I don't know. Boom, there's your cruise news. If you'd like to see a video of my wife crying twice, well, you can break in our house and get our wedding night video. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's when we went to Roatan. Check that out next. This is Tony for La Lido Look. Until next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye. Cruise.